Joining us now is a guy I personally requested to analyze my utterings about China because I think he's one of the smartest guys in the country, and he's an honest man as well. He's Victor Davis Hanson. You know him. He's a syndicated columnist. He works at the Hoover Institution, which is on the campus of Stanford University, right, Professor? That's where your
Yeah.
Hoover is, right? Okay. So
Yes.
and there are tons. There was only one woman in and these were hard men, by the way, in the room where I gave the seminar. About 14 of them, 13 men, one woman, who was a Stanford grad. Very articulate woman, powerful woman. The other guy, she put the other guys to shame because she understood a little bit about the flow in and out of the USA, where a lot of them didn't. They really, they were very hardcore Maoists. Anyway, you've read my column, you listened to my bloviating here. What say you?
Well, I think China has if you compare if we are in a Cold War, and a lot of people think we are, and you compare that to the Soviet Union 50 years, China has a very different place in the relationship with the United States. We had no Soviet students here. We had no trade agreements. It was a Cold War. But I would like to see more of a normalization of what I think is kind of an aberrant. We have 300,000 students. At Stanford, we just have a series of Stanford Review articles revealing that there was an organized espionage group of students. We had a member of the People's Liberation Army on the faculty as a visiting neuro scientist about 4 years ago. The Confucius Institute was shut down. The Davos first-term Trump Department of Education fined Stanford for not reporting a lot of contributions. So I guess what I'm saying, Bill, is that the view of George H.W. Bush and Bill Clinton and George W. Bush, and to a greater extent, Obama, that the more engagement you have with China, they were going to be impressed with American culture, tolerance, and they were going to emulate us, and then they would.
That's not happening.
No, it's not
No,
happening. It's
no.
not happening. So I think the Trump position was that we had given them a sense of appeasement or laxity, and our magnanimity was reciprocated by
Aggression.
taking advantages of rather than reciprocity. And I think
Right.
right now we're in a period where, when you look at China, they're building 3 or 4 nuclear warheads a month, and they plan to get up to about 1,200 in 5 years. Um, they have violated, and we don't have much success with them on copyrights, patents, dumping of product, currency manipulation. I would like to think that maybe Hong Kong would have been an example for Taiwan, but when you look what's happened to Hong Kong, Jimmy Lai is in prison, and they pretty much suppress free speech. So I guess what I'm saying is, because of World War II and we have a large Chinese population here, there was a natural empathy for closer relationships, and it wasn't the Cold War, Truman, Eisenhower Cold War. There was a real opportunity, the Americans thought, to reach out to China and to give them indulgences that we didn't other countries that we had
Yeah,
been
it worked
in
for a little
rivalries with.
while. It worked for a
Yeah,
little while, but
it
then
did.
she got in, and she is, she's
Yes.
personal legacy is tied in with Taiwan. Do you
Yeah.
believe? I said that I came up with this
Yeah.
uh, partnership for prosperity and peace, and the reason that I did is because China has to feed 1.5 billion. They're hurting. Okay, their economy needs the United States. That is the big leverage we have over them. And they are willing to make a deal, I believe. Do you believe that?
I think they're willing to make a deal in the economic realm because they're suffering kind of a historic phenomenon that the more they have upward mobility, rather than the population being satisfied, it's just a human trait, human nature. They're even more ambitious for a better life, and it's very hard to fulfill the expectations of the Chinese growing middle class because they're not spending what they should on domestic
No, it's all
healthcare.
military stuff.
Yeah, it's all military, Belt
But
and
they're
Road,
Spartans over there. But
Yeah. And so
what
I
I
think
saw, I tested them a couple of times. I said, you're not going to get anywhere with Trump, because it was all Trump-centric. You know, you gave a very logical and good historical analysis. That's not what they're interested in. They're interested in Trump, okay? Let's face it, the U.S. economy is under stress. National debt rising, trade war shaking the markets. And meanwhile, China is dumping the dollar and stockpiling gold. That's why I protected my savings with physical gold and silver through the only dealer I trust, American Hartford Gold. And you can do this. Get precious metals delivered to your door or place in a tax-advantaged gold IRA. They'll even help you roll over your existing IRA or 401k, tax and penalty free. With billions in precious metals delivered, thousands of five-star reviews, and an A+ from the Better Business Bureau, you can trust American Hartford Gold as I do. Please call 866-501-5201 or text BILL to 65532. Again, that's 866-501-5201 or text BILL to 65532. Thank you for watching. To view full episodes of the No Spin News anytime, sign up to become a BillO'Reilly.com premium or concierge member today.